Gather, veterans. It's time to join the fight. The long war begins.
This is The Long War. I'm Robbie B, and joining me once again are my partners in crime, Kenny Boucher, Stephen Ford, and Mike Haspel. What's up, guys?
Yo, dog. Great to be here.
Yo, what's happening, everybody?
Not so bad.
We have power.
We do. We have power.
We have all made it.
Haspel has a recording booth. He didn't get a hurricane. He got a recording booth.
Yes.
I feel like that is secretly the phone booth.
I find that to be incredibly relevant information on an audio version of a podcast.
Well, now they're imagining what it could look like. Let's paint them a picture. You go first. Use your words.
All right, I will. Yellow, apple. I love lamp.
Are you just naming things in the background of Haspel's booth?
So Haspel's in a booth. Robbie B and I are standing in the same room. And Kenny now has cats.
Most of that is true. Just not the cat's part.
Much of that is not true as well.
You'll have to decide which. You'll have to watch us live. I'm just kidding. Lots of stuff actually happened over the weekend. We got some new rules from Forge World. When I say Forge World, like my inner me cringes a little bit. I don't know. Maybe it's I have to clear my throat. Okay, I'm good now. Feel a little
Shots
rough.
Fired.
A little rough when I say the word Forge World. It's just
feel dirty.
Yeah, I feel a little dirty. And there's going to be a very. It's probably by the time you're hearing this, it's already been published, but a very, very groundbreaking editorial on recast, not just for Forge World anymore. It's going to be a big one. But anyways, I digress. That's not what this show's about. So Forge World came out with a new tank for Imperial Guard or Astra Militarum, whatever you want to call them. And we're going to talk about that a little later.
I would like to call them Astra Militarum.
Did you say what?
I would like to call them Astra Militarum. You asked me whatever I'd like to call them. The longer word with more syllables is what I prefer.
Okay. Aswell shaking his head. I saw him.
I have never successfully spelled it correctly either.
It's a made-up word. That's why.
I think Astra Militarum is spelled with sextant.
There's this sextant.
Sextant in Astra Militarum.
For everybody who has no context of what we were just laughing about is because we have chuckled for the last 45 minutes on that word. Specifically, you have to be a Long War veteran to get in the Hall of Vets to know exactly what we're laughing at.
Yeah. I didn't know Nietzsche was a philosopher. Well, there's an S in Nietzsche. It's that kind of joke. So you'll have to just go and look it up.
No, I'm literally going to do that. Stop what you're doing. Go look it up. Juice has a big combo, but we got some new releases. Haspel, hey, you remember like a year ago, you're like, this really isn't called Shadespire. This is called like Warhammer Underworlds. They could do like new seasons of this.
Yeah.
Literally the first preview article this week was the new season of Warhammer Underworlds is here, everybody.
Night Vault. Yeah. It has 2 factions in it. The one I'm calling the Queen of Thorns, just because I'm influenced by Game of Thrones. But it's like Thorns of the Briar Queen, which look to be some kind of ghosts. They're like the skeletons, except that they don't care about barriers. Crom laughs at the 4 winds. They don't care. They're just like, hey, we're going to move through all our fatal hexes, through all that stuff and everything, and we can get to you. And then they're fighting against some new Stormcast Eternal guys called Stormsire's Cursebreakers.
Whoa. And I prefer the longer multisyllabic way of saying things.
Yeah.
Gold Star Award of the Day.
Can you say that again, Haspel? What are they called?
Sex a ballot? What did you call that, Robbie B?
The Stormcast guys are called Stormsire's Cursebreakers. So, and they go on pre-order. I think they're on pre-order now, or maybe
this Saturday.
This Saturday they go on pre-order. Yep. And G-Dub has learned from some stuff. They're giving you whole new starter box with 2 new boards, so that'll make all told like 5 reversible boards that we have.
So they just put out the expansion pack. So
yeah.
Yes.
So that's going to be pretty respectable. They are introducing a new magic system with extra die, so you can cast stuff, and there's different levels of magic user and stuff like that. And the Queen of Thorns, or whatever her name is kind of formidable for what she can do. I guess she's a level 2 wizard or something like that, but she gets a 2 dodge like right off the bat, and I'm like, ooh, that is rough.
I think some of them have 3 damage attacks too.
Yeah, and it's
one shot.
Realsies, you know, it's like holy smokes. But they also let's see, you get the whole starter, and I've heard a rumor, I don't know if this is true or not, that once the Night Vault starter is out, the Shadespire starter will no longer be out. Like, you know, it's like Magic, where once they put out the new season or whatever, you can't get the old season starter. I don't know if that's true or not, or how true, or what timetable that's on, because I feel like they would have to release the 2 factions that came in the Shadespire starter as separate factions, which is
wait, let's not put it past them.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's an easy thing to do. Everything exists already. You just got to put them in a smaller box and sell them.
I think there's enough copies out there too. I don't think they would just straight up discontinue it. I don't
think they're discontinuing it. I just don't think they're making it anymore.
That may be the case.
And then they kind of learned a lesson, because in all the Shadespire community stuff, people were making 3D terrain to go onto the boards and make your board just look nicer. It literally has no impact on the game. It just looks cool. And they are releasing their own stuff. They're also releasing like a tracker.
Dashboard mats.
The dashboard, yeah. And they were giving these out at Adepticon as prize support. So everyone will be able to buy one now. They're also giving out not giving out, but launching card boxes. And we know that was prize support for, the leagues and stuff that they were launching at the local game store. Sleeve packs, like all the other ones, dice, like all the other ones. But the dice packs apparently don't come with the magic dice.
No, it's a separate one.
Yeah. So that's interesting.
I think you get the magic dice in the Night Vault starter, though.
Right. And then they've already dropped hints at the next 2 warbands.
I think we got pictures of them already, actually. They just came out. Yeah,
it's today. Like Zangar. One of them is Zinch, like Zangar based. Yep. The other one is like Orc Grot.
Yep, Grotty.
Yeah, Grot based. So looks pretty cool. I'm hyped for it. I hope that I have some time in the next year to
I don't think I've ever heard that phrase before.
Grotty?
Grot based.
Well, I don't know what to call them.
It looks like they're
they
riding,
don't look like orcs. They look like goblins to me.
Yeah, they're night goblins. They're riding like squigs and shit.
Yeah.
Goblinoid?
Zarbags. Yeah, definitely goblinoid. And the Zinch one is called Eyes of the Nine, so they're all Pan's Labyrinth looking dudes.
Yeah, they look pretty cool. And I'm looking forward to it as usual. I'm probably going to scoop up everything. I did not pre-order it because I just don't have time right now, so I will pick it up when next I swing by the game store.
Hey, you got that credit.
Oh, I have mad amounts of credit. When I asked him how much credit I had, one of the workers there said I won the auction. That's how much stuff I sold.
The amount of credit you have cannot be expressed in mere numbers.
It's like when Haspel comes back on one of his especially salty, on a especially salty day for him, and he was like, "I just sold all my shit. Like, I'm getting out of this shit." And I was like, "Oh, you sold it all? Awesome. Where? At the Gamer Saving auction?" I was like, "Store credit? Yeah." I was like, "You see the problem obviously. There?" That's pawn and gold, son. You just pawn your 40K shit for more credit to buy 40K shit. You are still in this hobby.
Yeah, I'm like, can't get out.
No, you can check in, but you can never leave.
No, you can never leave. They got me. So I'm really looking forward to it. It's gonna, include some new builds. Oh, and that is interesting too. Is that the Night Vault includes a all new rule book, which not only has the new Magic rules, but apparently will change and tweak the rules of the game, probably just incorporating the FAQs. I guess.
Yeah, a few things like that. So Night Vault 60.
Rob, let me cut you off for 1 second. because this might not last very long. But I was retroactively iced.
Oh no.
So for the second time in as many months, I have come home from an event and discovered a Smirnoff Ice in my backpack. When unpacking my backpack. So I'm never going to open this one. Like I do have the 4th of July blueberry one that was hidden in my backpack. This one is just going to be my display piece. But I was saving this one Smirnoff for the show. This is fair game. I was iced multiple times this weekend at Dice Hammer GT. And I just want you guys to know that I'm drinking a Smirnoff Ice during this show. And I'm hating every second of it.
Hating absolutely every minute of it. I love it. Kenny, you're a man of your word.
Is it at least cold?
It is. Well, I mean, it might have been cold at one point. Who knows how long it was in my bag in the back of the car in California.
So it's perfect.
It is. It is of the recommended chemical makeup for a proper icing. It's as flat and gross, still somehow carbonated, which makes it even worse as a Smirnoff Ice can be.
I think it's pronounced, it tastes just like it sounds.
Yep, it is. And rules is rules. So I just want you guys to know in the background, if you hear me burping or not happy with something or my lips are puckering,
struggling,
I'm following the rules.
You live your life by the.
I don't write the rules. I just follow them.
The rules of the road.
The rules of the road. I live my life by that.
You didn't choose the ice life. The ice life chose you.
So real quick, let's run down the new releases. Night Vault 60. The sleeves are 8. The deck box is 8. Interesting. I played a lot of Magic cards. I don't think I ever spent $8 on a deck box.
It wasn't a Citadel deck box. That's why I was playing with hobo deck boxes.
You're right. I need to step on my game, I guess. The Arcane Hazards, the 3D little hex terrain pieces that look cool and serve no other purpose yet. $35 for that set. So they're on par with the endless spell sets. That's exactly what they are. They're endless spell sets for
Warhammer. They look cool. They look really cool. Do. And I only have like $1 billion in store credit, so I'm probably getting them. But 35.
Night Vault dashboard mat is 20. And the dice sets are 10, but the Magic dice set is 8. Because I guess is there 6? Oh yeah, there's 6, and there's 8 in the other set, right? Is that how they do it?
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
Huh. Okay. So that is all that. Also coming out last week. Did we have a podcast last week? Yeah, we had a podcast last week. We just didn't do anything else. The X-Wing 2.0 finally came out. So all that should be out at your local game store. I think this month, too, we've got the 2 heavy weapon platforms coming out for Star Wars Legion, the E-Web Blaster and the laser cannon for the Rebels. Those should be $25, I believe. Tablescapes, RPG terrain set, $80. That just came out from Secret Weapon Miniatures. I think they did a Kickstarter for it, and now they've got it out for sale on their site. The Magna Baron's also having a big sale till Sunday. There's a special promotion code, the number 5 off 50 fall 2018 is the promo code. I guess I'll type that in the chat there so people can see it. But so he's got a bunch of stuff over there, and it's not for any of the pre-magnetized or commission pieces, I don't believe. And Kabuki Miniatures is also having a sale this weekend, 30% off everything over there at Kabuki Studios. So that, I think, is the majority of the things. Oh, and Table of Ultimate Gaming just came out with their Game Changer system. I think the pledges, there's a whole bunch of different pledges, but I think the big one that everybody's going for is the $500 one, where you can get a 4x6 table, and then there's a whole bunch of different toppers that have multiple accessories on it, which seems to be a little bit kind of different from their Kickstarter last year. It was more like a $1,000 kind of deal. So it's kind of like half the price, but you get more options. It's more customizable. So it looks cool in there. It's doing well. It's got like 28 days left as we record right here. So it's already been fully funded. So definitely check that one out if you're in the market for a new game table and missed the Kickstarter last year.
Is that the Table of Ultimate Gaming?
Table of Ultimate Gaming. I'll throw it up in all the chats. I'll go grab the link here and throw that up. So Haspel wanted to talk to us about some super secret spoilers in I think what Captain Marvel.
Well, like some important stuff. More important.
It's more important than any of this.
More important than anything else. So like the first thing I wanted to talk about is there is a star known as HD 26965, right? But if you're a Trekkie, you know it is 40 Eridani. And that is really, really important because that is where Vulcan is. That's where Spock's from, right? And we won't acknowledge the Kelvin timeline where Vulcan is now gone. That never happened. I don't even know what I mentioned. So
that was J.J. Abrams, right?
Yes, that was J.J. Trek, that abomination. So in any case, some folks at the University
Haspel, you have kept the trend alive now for 160 episodes. We have never had an episode where we didn't mention your dislike for J.J. Abrams.
The hate, I can't express it. It's just, in Clue where Madeline Kahn's just like flames on the side of my face because she hates that woman so much. That's how I feel. But anyway, if you're a Trekkie, 40 Eridani is Vulcan's home star. And some guys at the University of Florida in Gainesville used a 1.3 meter telescope, pointed it at 40 Eridani, and they found an exoplanet 8 times the size of Earth, orbiting its star a little bit close, so it could be hot. So basically, Star Trek is all true. So we
Obviously
come up with warp drive so the Vulcans will contact us.
Oh my God. Haspel's conclusion to that was, I want you guys to understand, he's an actual scientist. Like literally this dude is like, went to school.
He just spit out
Space Command, officer in the Air Force, Academy grad. What he says is not to be taken lightly. Star Trek is all real.
It's all real. It's just 16 light years away. It's just like we can get there. We can get there in a hop, skip, and a jump. Somebody needs to come up with warp drive. We'd be there in a day. It's not even an issue.
Well, no. They need to get the warp drive and the Jello field.
Yes. Yeah.
I like
we
Jello.
don't need.
Well, you actually
Event
don't need the
Horizon.
Jello field for warp field. That's where you fuck up. When you're trying to punch holes through time and space, man, that's where you invite the chaos in your ship. When you're just kind of warping around it, you're playing with it, but you're not, you can detect the tachyon particles long in advance as long as you have a good sensor array. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Kenny's on top of it. Now, the most important thing that I need to talk about is about representation in film. So this week, in fact, what was it yesterday? Marvel dropped the Captain Marvel trailer, right? And this is their first big star superhero other than the Wasp and other than Black Widow that is coming down. And why I think this representation is so important is how many of you scrubs can say that a superhero went to your college? Because I can. So I have to point this out. The Air Force Academy does not get a whole lot of love in pop culture. They might drop a mention of it, at the end of Iron Eagle, which is like an 80s film, or they might just
one of the best movies ever.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it was Queen's on the soundtrack, so it's like it doesn't even need to be said.
It's right up there with Lady Hawk.
In my mind, I was that kid flying that plane, killing the shit out of everybody.
Out of everything. I guess you're importing oil this year. Bang. Right? So on Stargate, to give somebody cred, they would say, oh yeah, he was like top of his class at the Academy. It's a typical Starfleet, Star Trek thing where everything was required reading at the Academy. And if you lined everything up, like they would never have time to even graduate. but anyway, in the trailer at 1 minute and 42 seconds in, they show Carol Danvers on the confidence course at the Air Force Academy wearing a USAFA tee, which is the workout shirt that every cadet is issued. We wear through all 4 years there. So when I saw that, to me, that was like more important than anything else in the trailer. I was like, oh snap. Like we actually got some recognition in a pop culture film. So that's why I had to stop the show and basically just crow about that.
And when her timelines
Well, the show takes place in the 90s.
So she would have been at the aircraft. So when has she been at the Air Force Academy? Same time.
She would have been at the Air Force Academy at the same time.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was. So as far as I'm concerned, she's a classmate of mine. Like I went to school at Captain Marvel.
Y'all ate together
all the time. Like I know her. She owes me $20.
Yeah.
For some Pokemon cards.
It's like so it was kind of a big deal to me. I can understand why no one else was like really thrilled, but I was
She
just like,
absolutely was in the movie theater one of the 19 times you saw Titanic.
yes. Well, that wasn't at the Academy though. That was at lovely Minot, North Dakota by the sea resort.
All right, never mind. She was definitely not there.
No, she's apparently like flying M16 or M16s, F16s or F15s. I don't remember which one they showed in the trailer because they have two pictures. They showed one with Photon, who is the mother of the other Captain Marvel, because why pay attention to names? And then, you know, with Shazam coming out, because he's Captain Marvel too, but for DC. And then, so they have a picture of her like standing on an F-15, but I think that was with the wing commander of the wing that provided the planes. So that might not be what she's supposed to be flying in the movie. And then they did show a bunch of F-16s. So I don't know.
Speaking of a cult classic, was it Wing Commander?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
What a 10 out of 10.
Rocky.
Yeah, the Kill Rocky.
Skillius got him.
Kill Rocky are not at all the Kazin. They just pretend they're not the Kazin. They're just from Kilra, and they look exactly and behave exactly like the Kazin, but they're not the Kazin. So
you talking about the cat people?
The cat people and Wing Commander. Yeah.
You had to remember when we were looking through your Star Trek Encyclopedia almanac at your house, and I was like, wait, you know the Zen race is actually from Larry Niven's Ringworld?
Yep.
And you were like, what? And I was like, yeah. And then I was like,
I never read Ringworld.
I was like, how's this in here? How's this like legal? And then like we went through on that Google like hole, and we discovered that they bought the rights to it.
Yeah.
And so like I was like, I knew something about pop culture and Star Trek that Haspel didn't.
Nope, I did not. So I had to
let it be known.
Read all of the Ringworld novels.
He's like, oh, well, fine. You read 2 books I didn't read.
Nerds.
Yeah, good job, asshole.
Yeah. Makes sense. All right, I guess we've already caught up to meat and potatoes. Unless there's anything else from Rob, we can do a commercial break and then we can get into the clickbait-like content that we have been promising.
Show starts at 45:10.
45:10, you heard it here first. Let's take a quick commercial break. Finally, the Long War swag is here. LongWarSwag.com, the official home of Long War merchandise. We've got a range of merchandise exclusive to the Long War brand, Next Level Painting, and Spikey Bits. Definitely log in today while supplies lasts. Veterans, I've got news for you. Get your best deals online at dicehead.com. Long War Vets, call or email for your best vet deals. That's dicehead.com. elricshobbies.com is your exclusive portal to upgrading your hobby. When you sign up at thelongwar.net, you gain an instant promotional discount good for 10% off at Elric's Hobbies. elricshobbies.com.
Dear veterans, quickly, make your way to thelongwar.net and find out how to reap your hard-earned spoils of this long war. For our allies at secretweaponsminiatures.com have rewarded us all with an extra 10% discount on all Secret Weapon Miniatures merchandise. So stock up, dear veterans, and enjoy.
And we're back. We're going to be talking about some new tank, or is that how you pronounce it? Or is the T silent?
I think it's actually pronounced sex tank.
Sex tank. It's a sex tank. What is this called? Carnodon? Haspel, how do you say this word that you can't see in front of us?
Carnodons.
Yeah, Carnodon sounds sharky. Carnodon? Is it maybe?
No, it's Carnodon.
Carnodon.
Carnodon. That's what I was saying. Carnodon.
Yeah, it sounds like a shark.
Everybody knows this. It does. It is a shark.
This is the Shark Tank, 6 power level.
The Shark Tank. Shark Tank it is.
Carnodon. It's either that or,
I could almost get behind that a Volkite Carver is like a laser beam.
Oh, it's a freaking shark with a laser beam.
It's a freaking shark with a laser beam. That's
He's got a multi-laser. You can definitely have a laser beam. There you go. Easy. So this is a new release from Forge World. I think it's, I don't know. I stopped looking at prices on Forge World, probably $100 US. So it's movement 12, undamaged, ballistic skill 4, 3 attacks, which I'm okay with. It's got all the options: autocannon, heavy bolter, heavy flamer, heavy stubber, las cannon, multi-laser. Those are all sponson weapons. We all know what they do. Twin autocannon turret, twin las cannon turret, twin multi-laser turret, or Volkite Culverin turret. You can also have a Volkite Cavalier for the side sponsons.
I'm not even sure any of those pronunciations are correct.
In pronunciations, it's a lot like hand grenades and horseshoes. It's, as long as you get it close, it's fine. So this tank's interesting because what's that base point say? 60 points for a strength 6, toughness 7, 10 wound tank. Yeah, okay, fine. It hits on ballistic skill 4, but it's got Astra Militarum regiments.
So that's pretty cool that this is, if I'm not mistaken, this is the first vehicle that they have access to that has shy of, because I don't believe Chimeras do. If I'm not mistaken, I know that the mortars, or excuse me, the Manticores and the Wyverns, I believe that they have regimental keywords. I think those do, but I don't believe that any of the other smaller vehicles do.
Like the Hellhounds?
Mm-hmm.
No, Wyverns do. Hydra, Deathstrike, Manticore. And we know that Lemurus's do.
So I like this.
Yeah,
so,
they do.
Okay. So all these vehicles, which is crazy, is because the Space Marine versions, Razorbacks and all that, they don't have, they can't get.
Oh, but they don't have
the tactics.
Yeah, because it's like bikes and dreadnoughts and duders. So that's kind of cool because, I mean, as I'm sure you'll break into the different stratagems and the one relic that you can use depending on who you're playing against.
Rob, isn't it the same price no matter how you load it out?
No, not necessarily. The one that I think is probably optimal is the Volkite Carvern and the Sponson Volkites for 108. But you could also take a twin autocannon turret and autocannon sponsons for 108. It ends up breaking down to, or you could just go las cannons if you want, but then it gets super pricey. It's like more than a Lemurus, I think, at that point. No, 140. I don't know if it's worth it at that point. But
no, so I like these Culverins. So let's break it down real quick. So depending on which, either it's the main weapon or the side sponsons, it's either heavy 2 or heavy 4, 30-inch range or 45-inch range. They're both strength 6, -1, 2 flat damage. What's cool is what they do is on the roll of a 6+ to wound, it does a 1 mortal wound in addition to its normal damage.
Or D3 for the top turret.
Absolutely. So that's quality. I'm with this.
Or 108 heavy support.
Yeah, and then so what I like about this too is because it's the side sponsons, that is 2 of them. Mm-hmm. So it's this guy is putting out 8 shots, hitting on 4s, fishing for 6s to do smites with the big gun, aka because it's D3 mortal wounds, or fishing for other ones. And regardless, this guy actually, you know what he reminds me of for 108? These weapons are eerily similar to a Helverin. A Helverin, the Armiger, is 1 billion inches, 60 inches, hitting on 3s. So obviously we're still better, right? But a Helverin's 174 points.
Yep, considerably more.
It's strength 7, -1, 3 flat damage with none of this extra shit for mortal wounds.
It's almost like the same if you get that 6.
And furthermore, you ready for this? It's 4D3. Guess how many shots that equals on average?
Well, 8.
8. you right?
Yeah.
Like we're literally, we're literally here for 108 points versus 174. So we're talking 66 points cheaper
Mhm.
68 points cheaper.
And all you're really
something
giving,
like
are you giving up? You're giving up a ballista skill, but also can it move and shoot at full ballista skill, or is it going to be hitting on 5s if it moves?
These are heavy, so it will be hitting on 5s if it moves.
So there's two major differences right there, right? If it moves at all, it hits on 5s.
Yeah.
It does have, if you are Acadian, if you are something like
Mhm.
that, they do have access to overlapping fields of fire. And what I do like about this, if this fool stays stationary and it is
Reroll
Acadians, it can be, automatically reroll ones built in where the Hellbrins don't have access to that.
And if you fight against Chaos, you can play Vengeance for Cadia.
That's right.
Reroll all wounds and all
to hit.
hits. Yeah. Even in Overwatch. I mean, it's spammable. It's 108 points.
108 points I'm with, and it's heavy support.
Yeah.
I'm behind this. Guess what? I like this better than do you know how many points a Wyvern is right now?
No. How many?
108 points.
Huh. Interesting.
So I can get behind this.
I don't think taking
I'd say
one,
to make
you'd
sure
have
I'm
take
fact checked, I actually think a Wyvern now with a heavy bolter, not a heavy flamer, is 93 points.
Oh, well, we'll take your word
But
for it.
either way, no, I'm with this guy, right? So, like, way to go, Forge World. Here we go. Are we going to see, Kenny, the age of which Forge World is not allowed at tournaments?
Yes, I think it's coming up.
And what's
Is that going to be a tournament thing, or do you think GW is going to put?
I don't think GW is going to get involved in that, but I think that we are entering into the worlds where, look at it like this. ETC doesn't allow it, and I think as we move toward this internet esports like 40K thing, as popularity grows, as we see things as a community, we're going to try to emulate those things for our personal competitions. And so I do think we're gonna get pockets of no Forge World again, like we used to have. Remember, you used to have to ask before you showed up, and it was a big deal when you were allowed to play Forge World. I think we're gonna be going into like the reverse of that for a while. Like it's gonna be like, oh, don't forget there is no Forge World here. And then there's gonna be two major types of tournaments: those that are run by GW and those that are not.
Yeah, and there was the limitation of 0 to 1 for Forge World.
Yep.
There was so yeah, I can see it.
I mean, Forge World, I think we all know that there's some balancing issues there. I actually got pretty sad the other day when I was on trash bagging, hobo bagging all my Forge World books, and I noticed that my Siege of Rax 2nd edition. So they got me twice. They got me the first time in 06. Actually, Siege of Rax was 3 books. I didn't buy it then. It was 3 books in 2006. Then they did the 2nd edition. And I didn't even take the wrapper off it. I don't know how I did that.
Wow.
It's like, dang it. The worst.
One of the 3 different ways you can play Brass Scorpion, I think, back in the day.
Yo, I'll never forget. We were in the Raleigh Beats lab, and you and I were going through. We're like, "Yo, what does the Brass Scorpion do again?" And I go to the shelf of a billion books and grab it, and you're like, "No, motherfucker, that's not the right one. You got to get this one." And I'm like, "All right, you go get it." You go up and get another book, and I'm like, "That's obviously not the right one." And we had like 3 or 4 books in our hands that were all printed in the last 16 months.
Yep.
That all had
one had an invul, one didn't. I remember
one
that.
had 3d6 charge.
Yep.
One had 2d6 charge.
Yep.
One, the big weapon ignored cover.
So much confusion. Somebody we know took that to a tournament, and he was like, "No, it's this," and they're like, "No, I don't think that's that." And he's like, "What rules are we playing with here? We got 3 books. Like,
just tell me, I'll do them all."
Yep.
Probably the rules you don't want to be playing with.
Yeah.
Yeah. My memory of the Brass Scorpion is that big Chaos Scorpion thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a pretty good memory of that. Because it can move really, really fast. And I was playing in the Gladiator at Adepticon, playing Space Wolves, and the guy had that. And my Rune Priest, like, we laid a ton of fire into it, and my Rune Priest ran up and assaulted it and hit it right in the rear armor, like, perfectly. And then we rolled, like, I'm trying to remember what it was called, but it was like the apocalyptic explosion or whatever. And like just picked up everything on the table from both our armies.
Yeah,
like,
it had
a squad of guys left, and I had like a rhino.
It always counted as like one more in a catastrophic just chart, and also it had multi-leg terror, which let me it stomped. Had D3 extra stomps attacks in close combat too. Like it was a cool ass fucking tank.
Yeah, so it had like some, 8 strength, 8 -2, 3 damage. You're like, that alone in itself is worth it. And then everybody's like, yeah, those are stupid. I don't even care because it does 2d3 or something like that, stomp attacks, which was.
It was like a minimum of like 5 stomps or some shit.
Yeah. Yeah, D3 + 2 or something. That
same brass scorpion that we all like shared and used in our armies and play tested with, that one that I painted for EJ. That's the one that's the same model where I threw and threw my finger with the X-Acto knife. Live on the podcast, or at the end of the podcast, when we were like wrapping up the show.
Yeah. I think also that place might have been like some bad juju for you, because I believe within 6 months you speared yourself on the X-Acto knife on your index finger, and then simultaneously yanked out your own tooth with pliers.
Both of those things did happen in that same room. Yes.
I'm going to go as far to say I believe one wound was not healed by the time the other one happened.
But that's also the same room he started his YouTube tutorials on.
So, hey, that's literally the same room, 2015, January 1st. YouTube.
Kenny, we should get you on YouTube instead of like painting one thing for one person. You could like paint something and like thousands of people could see it.
I have a sticky note for you.
We should do that.
Yeah. And we did.
Oh my gosh. Foster's. It's Australian for beer, but it's made in the USA.
Wait a minute.
Am I getting fucked with right now?
I think that's clickbait.
No, I think that's real, man.
Everybody's been telling me I need to step up my game, so I want you to know I went to the local gas station. I was like, all right, E40. So I was like, all right, word. So big beers, what do they have? Coors Light, that's what I love. Corona, everybody's favorite. Old English in the plastic bottle. And then I was like, ooh, look at that beautiful can. Foster's. You know what I immediately said? It's Australian for beer. I'll take 2, please. And now I know it's brewed in America. I feel like I was clickbaited for sure.
All the Australian peoples in chat are saying no one drinks that shit in Australia.
No one drinks that shit here. Nobody. But they do drink Smirnoff Ice.
Do you guys drink Smirnoff Ice? Man, where was I? I was at a dinner with a couple friends I met out here, some film people with Bonet, and we were like, just getting twisted, went to the restaurant, and one of the guys knows all about getting iced, and he actually was at one of my IRL classes, and he's the one who made sure there was a 6-pack available to ice me with. And we're talking about it, and the ladies, his lady and my lady were like, what the fuck are you even talking about? That's not even a thing. You guys just looking for an excuse to drink Smirnoff Ice? Like, nobody's looking for an excuse. It's horrible. This is the rules, though. And then the waiter comes by, and he's like, you guys talk about getting ice? Because they were like, you're making this shit up. Our ladies. And the waiter comes up, he's like, you guys talk about getting iced? We're like, yes. Please explain to these ladies that it's a real thing. He's like, oh yeah, getting iced is real. Like, you got...
Yeah, you don't cross it either.
They were like, there's no way. This is real. You made this shit up.
Don't even tell them about the Jolly Ranchers in the Zimos. They can't handle that.
No, I mean, most people can't handle the gangsterness.
That's old tech, Rob.
That's old tech. 4 Loco. That's it. I'm done.
One of my favorite things to do, because a lot of places don't keep those around anymore, but you know what everybody does have 8-pack of? Are the Lime-A-Ritas, the little mini cans. Yep. Oh man, there's nothing more degrading than icing someone with a Lime-A-Rita and making them a man hold that small ass can in his hand while he drinks it. That's actually worse than icing somebody on their knees.
That's true. Robert, of course, one of our friends who from SoCal Games
and Comics.
He was out there at Dice Hammer GT this weekend helping out, providing terrain and support like he do. So big shout out to SoCal Games and Comics out here for really lending a hand to the Dice Hammer crew. Let me tell you this, Juice. So obviously I just came back from Dice Hammer GT. It was at a bowling alley.
Oh my god!
Now let me just say it to you, I'm going to say
unicorn of.
I'm going to say it to you with the disdain, like they're like, oh, it's a 2-day GT. It's going to be in SoCal at a bowling alley. And I was like, in a bowling alley, man? Fuck. All right, I'll go. I'll support the community. It was potentially the coolest shit ever.
Yeah.
It's like a unicorn location.
That's huge potential there.
When you said bowling alley, all I thought of immediately was mozzarella. I'm going to get me some mozzarella sticks.
Yeah.
Which
I know
I did
that
get
Extra
some.
beer.
I know I can count on some quality, shitty, good food. Exactly what I
I've
want.
actually never had bad food at a bowling alley, like a good old bowling alley where like, it's they have like X amount
chicken
of
tenders
lanes.
and cheese fries. And
Yeah, and they have if they have a bar attached, like they typically have a pretty good line. They probably have good sort order cooks there. And one thing about bowling alleys I always forgot because I used to be in bowling leagues is the food is always affordable because they're also catering to the family market early in the day and repeat customers. So I forgot the food is always affordable and decent, and the drinks are always affordable.
And they're traditionally drink specials.
Yeah.
Pitchers
so-
of beers,
Pitchers.
buckets of Coronas.
Like literally, I forgot about that because it's been so long. So this is it's like Forest Lanes in Orange County. They have a bar that with an exterior entrance to it, which like some people are just in the bar, no one's even fucking bowling, attached to the bowling alley that you can order from and get your food. So I'm like, this is kind of weird. We'll see. We get in there, we get our own room. The Dice Hammer GT rented out, so we have our own privacy with our own entrance and air conditioning. And the drinks were flowing. I probably crushed a bottle of them, a fifth all by myself. And I was like, yo, let me just get some doubles. Neat bartender. And he's the AM chef. We had a relationship, me and half the tournament. We had a relationship with this bartender who was the AM chef bartender. This dude was filling my glasses. People were like, what the fuck? And like, he was like, I was like, let me get a double. And like, they have those little machines and he's just like, hooking me up. Everyone. I mean, that dude must have made so much bank during that weekend. But like, he tabbed me up the other day. It was like $42.
Yeah.
After
Yeah,
8 hours of drinking, like,
yeah, that's the best, man.
I was like, dog, that shit's like me and my lady go and get 2 drinks. It's $106.
Yeah.
And so that was amazing. All unto itself, the convenience factor of having the drinks be affordable right there, hotel right down the street. It was amazing. Right. But they also, I noticed in his little like bottled beer cooler, they had Smirnoff Ices in there.
Oh my God.
So guess what my life was for fucking 2 days?
Yep. Let me tell you, they sold more Smirnoff Ices in those 2 days than they've sold in the last 9 months.
Yes. Like I was like, I noticed that they were like, the first day there was a bunch in there, and the second day there was barely any. I was like, you selling these motherfuckers? He's, yeah, people keep buying them for some crazy reason. I was like, just stop selling them to people, please. I would just, how many are in there? 6? I'll just pay you for those and just throw them in the trash.
Yeah. Here, the money that you're saving me on my drinks, here's that money.
Yeah.
Throw those away.
Just letting you know.
I'm
Now,
gonna throw up later.
so Robert was a big part of that, and he iced me many fucking times. He's like, hey, I'm gonna go to Starbucks. Do you want some coffee and maybe like a granola bar? He's like, fuck yeah. He brings me back a bag just with a Smirnoff Ice in it, nothing else that I asked for.
Nice. It's like he just hands you the bag. He's like,
He hands me an actual Starbucks bag. They went to Starbucks. They had coffees in their hand. He's like, here's your order. And it's just a Smirnoff Ice in there. No water, nothing. It's 9 a.m. And I'm like, man, I really could use a granola bar and a water and a coffee. Nope. I'm just going to drink a Smirnoff Ice. Got it.
Yeah.
Good luck, fucker.
And to Robert, I am still painting your Shadespire stuff. I have not forgotten. So it's just taking me an eternity.
It'll just be called Night Vault.
It'll be Night Vault by the time you get it.
The crime solving.
Yep. I met somebody.
I want you to know.
I just want to tell you about this one guy, and then I'll be off this. Jordan Stein. He listens to the podcast. He doesn't do social media. He is basically the West Coast Austin. Basically the same person.
Love it.
He was playing in Eldar Air Force, top rated on the ITC. We played. This is like, he looks kind of like Austin. If you guys watch the Battle Reports, you know Austin. He kind of talks like him a little bit. Same build, everything. I was like, damn, this is weird. And this is what solidified it. It's 9:30 in the morning. We're round 1. Before the ice was even put in my hand, that dude's already got a pitcher of beer on the table that he's drinking out of.
You got to keep your energy up.
Yeah.
So big shout out to Jordan.
Hell, man, I was going to get a 32-ounce soda, but the beer was the same
cheaper.
price.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, get a picture. Shit.
That was a solid Austin impression.
Yep. So speaking of Austin, shout out to my man. We definitely have a lot of conversations because he's one of the only 3 people I know that get up as early as I do, and have got a good commute. So him and I get a lot in. And actually, this is a take that we talked about the other morning that I want to share with everybody, talking about Haspel. I've been saying it. We've been talking about it. Space Wolves are overpowered. They're OP. They need to be toned down a little bit. Hopefully, in the new FAQ, they're addressed.
They're so OP.
And here's why. Rune Priest. Have you ever heard of that guy?
I have.
A Rune Priest with a jump pack.
Okay.
112 points. So I want to start this conversation off with a caveat to say that heroic interventions at 6 inches on a character with a jump pack is overpowered.
It's pretty good.
I love it. And I'm saying overpowered in the extent of I love it. I don't want it.
That's one of the first things that we talked about is like heroic intervention is a game mechanic that is people are starting to chain. Yeah, people are starting to wrap their head around the mechanic of it and how it can be used in both phases. It's not dissimilar from, there's complexities to it, similar to like how Lookout Sir used to be and things like that. And it has become more and more of a part of the game as people are wrapping their head around it. And now you get a guy who could do it 6 inches. As a matter of fact, every guy in the Space Wolf Codex who's a character
can do it at 6. And let's talk about how Fly is broken in 8th edition. If you have heroic intervention on a Thunderwolf Cav, it's good, but let me tell you, you still have to get that big ass base to fit through certain locations. You still have to be able to worry about terrain. Let me tell you, if I've got a standard ITC piece of terrain where it's a ruin, okay, where I'm creating my fire base, and I've got my damn character 3 inches up in the air with a jump pack with all these little infantrymen all around me, guess what I have? Guess where I live at? This is actually one of the things that I talked about, spoiler alert, that I'm going to hit on at the end of the segment that I just talked about at the Beats Lab tactics session that happened yesterday for a 2.5 hour session with 8 of the guys that showed up. It was amazing. If you're playing Space Wolves, you live at a 5-inch bubble. It's a 5-inch bubble of where my character is versus where all my infantry guys are. They never venture more than 5 inches. Why? Because there is a safe zone that they get to flirt with. 5 inches is the key. Because if I am charged, and you just talk to your opponent, my intent is to make sure that every one of my models are within 5 inches of this character on this hill. Right? Because if you get assaulted, it is physically impossible for your opponent to assault your devastators, your long fangs, your scouts, your anything else without you having the ability to heroically intervene because you are 5 inches away. He can be within an inch. That's still within the 6-inch bubble that your guy standing on the hill with your jump pack that gets to ignore all the models standing around them because he has the fly keyword. So now that we've set the precedent with where we are, let's talk about how good Rune Priests are. Austin Cosman is telling me, hey, do you like the Rune Priest stuff? And I was like, yeah, I do. But, I like this, and this. And so we started talking about combos. So here is one of the best combos that seems to be coming out of this book so far. Some people like the Rune Priest, the Primaris Rune Priest. I actually don't like this fool as much just because as it's written in this book right now, you can't give him a jump pack.
No, because that would be an Inceptor.
Right. So you can't give a Primaris guy a jump pack, but he's still good. He's still whatever. But I'll tone it down back to the regular Rune Priest. Cat has 3 attacks, right? 3 base attacks.
Sure.
He's going to be my warlord, right? I'm going to go all in. Okay. It's fine. I'm going to go all in with
some relics,
right? So I'm going to give him a relic. Now, whether he's your warlord or not, I'm going to give him a relic. He's going to have the Wolfenstone. The Wolfenstone, for all intents and purposes, is just giving me +1 attack. That's all I truly care about. I've got my Force Axe or my Runic Axe, right? And I don't care about minuses. I don't care about anything else. It's a quality swing.
Because remember, you're +1 to hit.
Hitting on 2s no matter what I do. Okay, so here we are. Runic Axe, 4 base attacks now. Now, with 1 psychic ability. Rob, I'm going to actually have you, so I don't butcher things, I'm going to have you read
I'm not much better.
The Tempest Discipline right here. Fury of the Wolf Spirit.
Tempestus.
That's why you're reading it, not me.
Fury of the Wolf Spirits has a warp charge value of 7. If manifested, the Rune Priest gains the following weapon until the start of your next psychic phase. Frecky and Jerry. Those are the
2 wolves.
The 2 wolves that accompany Lehman Russ. Range melee, type melee, strength 5, -3 AP, damage 1. Abilities. After the Rune Priest makes his close combat attacks, you can attack with Frecky and Jerry. Make 6 additional attacks using this weapon profile.
Okay, so it's very important. Make 6 attacks after the Rune Priest swings.
Yes.
Right. Okay, so here we go. We're building the combo now. 3 base attacks for the Rune Priest. Now, if you decide, because I value fly, so I want a Rune Priest. If you value number of attacks, you can go the Primaris Rune Priest because he comes with 4 base attacks. I have 3 base. I have, with my Rune Priest with a jump pack, I have 3 base plus the Runic Stone, Wolfenstone. So now I have 4. I am going to do this. I'm going to cast my Psychic ability on a 7. I now get 6 attacks. So now I'm at a baseline of 10 attacks at my initiative step. My Frost Axe or my Runic Axe plus these 6 attacks that are Strength 5 minus 3, 1 damage. Then I'm going to swing twice for 3 CP. I'm going to swing again with my 4 base attacks. And then I'm going to swing again with my 6
additional attacks. Using this
extra attacks. That is 20 attacks in one phase that are hitting on 2s, wounding most things on 3s or 4s. Now, this is one of my favorite things. Warlord traits. 2 ways that you can go with this. If you're going the Primaris way, you can move away from the Saga of the Wolfen and you can go Saga the Beast Slayer. Saga the Beast Slayer says add 1 to the wound rolls when attacks are made against monsters or vehicles. Most damn things in the game that you want this guy to go against are monsters or vehicles. You get +1 to wound. Now that Strength 5 might as well be the equivalent of Strength 10 because you get an additional +1. Okay. Wow. So, or if you're going to go the way that I'm probably going to, because I value fly and I don't have as many attacks, I'm going to go Saga the Wolfen. If the unit is affected by the Saga, I get to add +1 characteristic. So now my base runic weapon or my base Rune Priest has 3 base attacks. The stone gives me 4. Once I activate this Saga the Wolfen, now I'm at 5. Let
me see Saga the Wolfen.
Here you go, Saga the Wolfen. So this Death Blossom attack lasts for an entire battle round. This is another reason why it's unbelievable. So for 6 CP, or depending on if you die on your opponent's turn.
I was just going to say that you could even do the end.
You could do it for 5 CP, and this guy swings 40 attacks in a single battle round.
And it's like there's like many steps to this attack because you do your base attacks, then you do your additional attacks, then you attack again, base attacks, additional attacks. So you can technically pick multiple targets.
No, it's absolutely unbelievable. And then so they have a stratagem that will allow you to reroll 1s to wound, right? So it's a 1-point stratagem, Saga of the Wolfen maybe, or something like that, stratagem of the Wolfen that will allow you to reroll 1s to wound. But so I'm telling you for 117 points, you get a Rune Priest that for a combined total of 5 to 6 CP in a battle round, he has the potential to swing 40 attacks. 40 dice.
With his Runic Axe, that's not unwieldy because he's +1 to
40 attacks that hit on 2s. And depending on what he's swinging against and how he's active, wounding on 2s or wounding on 3s,
if you have a stratagem, it lasts the whole phase. So if you have a stratagem for +1 to wound, is that a stratagem or was that a?
No. So the stratagem is reroll to wounds.
I think it's reroll.
And I think it's reroll 1s to wound.
Was it a warlord trait that was +1 to the wound roll?
+1 to the wound roll is the Saga of the Beast Slayer, and that's a warlord trait.
That one's good. That's the one I would take. I'd say +1 to wound rolls is one of the strongest things in the game. I would take that one. So then I would go in, do my Thug Thistle, pay the 3 CPs, do my Thug Thistle again, rerolling all my 1s. I think that's pretty awesome. Like that's a pretty solid combo.
Yeah, by character. Reroll failed wound rolls, 1 CP.
We roll all the wound rolls?
Oh, it has to have greater power rating.
So again, here's the combo. If this guy's going up against, we're using, for example, Mortarion. He's a character. So for Seeking a Saga, he's a character for 1 CP. You get to reroll all failed to wound rolls against characters with a power level of 7 or more. So he's a monster. You can use him for the +1 to wound because he's a monster or vehicle. He now is a character, so Seeker of the Saga. So your strength 5 is really the equivalent of strength 7. And you get a reroll also. You're wounding.
It's higher than that. If he's strength 5, he naturally wounds this dude on 5. +1 to the wound roll means he wounds him on 4s.
Correct.
That means that means he's strength 8 because Mortarion's toughness 7. So that makes him.
No, but he was strength. No. If he was strength 8 and Morty was 7, he'd wound on 3s.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like Oh yeah, I guess you're right. So you're
so wounds on 4s rerollable,
but it's wound on 4s rerollable because of the saga.
Because of the stratagem, the rerollableness is from the stratagem.
That's hit on 2s, wound on 4s with rerolls, like
with 40 attacks.
Well, yeah. So you're gonna swing, and then when does he get to swing twice in the literature for 3 CPs?
So he can swing twice for 3 CP at the end of the phase, or for 2 CP phase. Right when he dies.
Yeah, so he'll die. He'll swing. He'll do his 10 attack. He'll do his 10 his
20 or his 10.
He'll do his 10. Then he'll die, and then he'll do 10 more.
Yep.
That's how that fight goes. So with Mortarion, you have a 100-point guy, 119-point guy that can do 20 attacks that hit on 2s. He's probably gonna have someone near him to reroll 1s.
Correct.
So it's gonna be 20 hits. He's gonna wound on 4s with re-rolling 1s, 2s, and 2s and 3s, I guess. Yeah. He's gonna re-roll because those all normally fail. So he's gonna re-roll everything and convert 20 wounds, 20 hits, 10 wounds, 15. So he's gonna do 15 wounds to Mortarion, and it's all down to Mortarion saves and feel no pains.
It smells like 7 wounds.
It's D3 damage.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. So I just want to make sure everybody understands why we're talking about 40 total attacks.
40 if he dies.
40. No, he can stay alive through all of it. This is in a battle round. This psychic ability that he gets for those 6 extra attacks lasts for the entire battle round. So if I go first, the verbiage says it lasts until the next psychic. Yeah,
if you don't die in his first volley, then it's amazing.
He gets to do it all over again in your opponent's turn. So yes, if I have 6 CP or 5 CP, then I swing 20 attacks on my turn, and then you fight, and then either I die or I live and swing again and swing another 20.
Yeah, so Mortarion charges. You heroically intervene. You do 10. He attacks back. If you survive, you pay 3 CPs, you do it again. So you've done 20. Now it's your turn next because you've heroically intervened. So you activate first. You do 10 more. So you're at 30. Now, if he kills you, you pay the CPs. You
honor the chapter.
So if you survive the first volley, or he's not clever enough to make sure he charged everyone, because a lot of people forget that. They don't declare. And also you can't even declare. Let's say charging the dudes in front of the Rune Priest was so if you're 5 inches away from the Rune Priest, which is more than 12 inches away from Mortarion, he can't even declare you as the target of his charge.
Yeah. And I do just want to make sure everybody understands Armor or Rust is trash. It's a 7 points for a 5-up invulnerable save. In all reality, it's the same reason why I don't take Storm Shields on my Banginiuses, because when I put them in the situation that I want them to die so I can swing twice for only 2 CP, not 3. I would rather have my 7 points back instead of giving a guy with 3 wounds or 4 wounds a 5-up invulnerable. So either way, it's not a terrible idea, but the Armor of Rust is not going to save him against Morty.
No,
Morty doesn't give a damn about
fighting last.
Some people are chiming in I doubt that you'll still be able to use that when you swing twice. In this game, 99% of things that last the phase are in effect if you swing again. And
I'm so sorry. The relic, is it the Armor? I don't think it's the Armor of Rust that allows
what.
The Wolfenstone is the one that allows. So Kenny, you ready for this? Thank you so much.
The Armor Rust turns off, makes stuff swing last.
Oh, and I'm sorry. So this is one of 2 things that you can go with the relics, right? So Runic Armor gives you a 5 invulnerable. So I do and I'm so sorry, guys, in the chat, the Armor of Rust comes with a 4-up invulnerable. You can either, the Wolfenstone gives you +1 attack plus other bonuses, or the Armor of Rust says you have a 4-up invulnerable, and a enemy within 1 inch of my choosing swings last in combat.
Yeah, those are the best. Those are
So
those are of the best sets of that type of rule is the best type of rule in 40K.
I do like that, but in my opinion, because he's actually not a captain, because he doesn't have access to certain things, because he doesn't have access to re-rolling to hit and whatnot, like, or D3, like a Blood Angels captain, D3 extra attacks. I don't know if I care to always put this guy within 3 inches of something that I care to. I in my opinion, I want +1 attack. Swinging lasting combat for something. I mean, it's good. Believe me, the Foul Blight spawn for Death Guard.
I mean, I just like the ability. I mean, I like the ability, the fact that you can pick some of these you can pick these relics and warlord traits before the game for your opponent.
So you can choose exactly what's good for you.
I mean, at the end of the day, this dude, like, Smash Captains can't kill 20 guys.
This cat could kill 40.
Like,
I mean, he swings that many dice.
Like, I mean, like, you go into a group of dudes that have no chance of killing you. I mean, you're like 20 attacks. There's 20 more attacks. Like, it's pretty good. I mean, I've said it since Space Wolves dropped. Like, I think a Space Wolf Slam Captain is an amazing thing with all their rules. They have a bubble of reroll 1s to wound, a bubble of reroll 1s to hit. They always hit at +1, so their Thunderhammers don't miss, and they reroll 1s to wound. And they have other strategies to go along with it. I love double Battle Leader Wolf Lord on jump axe with a 6-inch heroic intervention spaced out equally. Literally, it's a huge zone now.
Yeah, so I like this. Robbie B just pulled this out, the Dark Angels book, The Lion and the Wolf. Robbie B.
Yeah.
1 CP stratagem.
You, if you have a Dark Angels infantry model and 1 Space Wolf infantry model, they can do an honor fight. Roll a dice for each model, and a 4 up, that model suffers a mortal wound. Each model that survives increases in strength, attacks, weapon skill, and leadership characteristics by 1. So you can make them like a super captain if you have Dark Angels in your army, or a super priest.
Yeah, I love this. This is making me happy.
That's a good find. Real quick before we get out of here tonight, I think let's take a question. This is perfect for Haspel. Opinion on Grey Knight's Codex. I don't know if it's a troll question, but it's.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I don't recognize the name, so.
Yeah, Apollonius 01. I don't know. I don't like it. I think they were bad from the get-go because they were one of the first ones to come out. And then after this beta thing with the Deep Strike, the garbage. You basically unplayable is where I would put it.
I don't like it.
I don't like it. Yeah, they had a couple of choice units that people sprinkle into their lists, but with Deep Striking and everything, man, they're not. Okay.
Yeah, he says it's not a troll question. He does play them. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, man. I play Grey Knights. I've been playing them since Demon Hunters 3rd edition. They were only ever really good in 5th edition. And then everybody played them, so they got nerfed really, really hard, and they've never come back from that, and people still hold grudges against them. So,
a couple spoiler units that or not even spoiler units, that's a terrible word for it, but like units that I do like out of it, if you like playing Grey Knights, and it's part of Inquisition or whatever, but he kind of fills the role for the Grey Knights. I like Hector Rex as a cool Inquisitor. He gives you stuff that you don't have access to, right? So like I like that.
Yeah. People are saying Dread Knights are cool. Dread Knights were cool.
They were.
They could be targeted. You'll never get it. If you get a Dread Knight in a close combat to do what they need to do,
they're not good at all.
Opponent messed up.
Right. Like they were the reason they were good is 2 reasons before now. The obvious reason is pre Deep Strike beta, before they can all just Deep Strike in, be close to they can be Nemesis Grandmasters, they can be near the guy that has a reroll bubble, and they can get in there and fuck shit up, right? That's the first most obvious reason why they used to be good. They can't do that anymore, so that alone makes them not good. The other thing was, we're talking like, before everyone had codexes, there was not a lot of indexes floating around. 4 of them were kind of hard to manage for some people. There's not an army out there right now that can't put them down with the ease. So even if like they still could drop in, they hit that first bubble wrap and then they're just going to go away. Like they're not like,
how hard is it to kill 4 rhinos that have pop smoke?
Right.
3 rhinos that have pop smoke. That's what they are. They're toughness 7.
And so if you, I'm sorry, Juice.
I think they're toughness 6.
Yeah, I think they're toughness 6.
That's terrible.
And I think they also have vehicle in their keyword. So like anything that has extra bonus damage against vehicle.
Yeah. Flag missiles. Drone. So I mean, there's another couple things. So I do like silencers. They have a cool strat for them.
Yes, silencers.
There's the quasi concept of a death or a death blossom attack with a psychic ability, and astral aim, and the stratagem, right, Rob or Haspel, that will basically give you extra damage, extra -1, and you don't need line of sight. So that's a cool combo for one.
Yes,
for one unit of them.
Taking purgation squads with not psych cannons, the silencers.
Yeah, purgation squads for their like 115 points for 4 silencers is pretty
cheap. Dirt cheap. Take those guys, and then the other guys, if you want to run Grey Knights in your army, they definitely are. They're not a cornerstone of your army. Use them for whatever else. But a 10-person strike squad, with Stormbolters, is
40 shots.
Yeah, it's devastating. It's really, really good.
And Grey Knights touching and Space Marines just in general touching cover, they have a 2-up save. They're Terminators.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So take it for what that's worth.
Take it for what that's worth. All that was fun and games before all these new codexes dropped. So
yeah. And before 8th edition realized to say, oh, it doesn't matter how durable your unit is. This is 8th edition. If I want something dead turn 1, it's dead.
Mm-hmm.
That's how people just need when they're building lists. Just understand, whatever your favorite toy is, if you don't build in protection, aka you pre-measure, you do anything else, this is 8th edition. Your shit's dead if your opponent wills it.
Fact.
Yep.
All right, I think we did it. I think we broke down why Space Wolves are the most OP codex in the game right now.
Yeah, Blood Angels are dead. Space Wolves are the new hotness. Facts. Not really. But before we get out of here, I do want to say there's a lot going on in the Southern Pines Aberdeen Beats Lab, which is the new hobby shop in town that I'm a part of and absolutely love it. We started last night, Tuesday, whatever the date was. I was going to say it, but I don't know it. Maybe September 18th. We did the first tactics class with me, yours truly. We had about 8 or 10 people show up. We did dinner. We did a 2.5-hour session. It was an absolute blast. We talked about the tournament scene. We talked about boogeymen. We talked about ITC breakdown, what you need to do when you walk up to the table. It's going to continue. We're going to take this show on the road and put it on the interwebs very soon. So either way, there's a lot of cool stuff coming with all that. I just wanted to go ahead and sprinkle out the little crack, for everybody to kind of get addicted to now. So sooner than later, we will absolutely having that coming to everybody's front door. Whenever
Juice mentions crack, I always have to ask him one simple question. You remember the first time you did crack?
Yep. It was with you.
Never forget it.
All right, Haspel, take us out of here.
The life of everyone on board depends upon just one thing. Finding someone back there who can not only fly this plane, but who didn't have fish for dinner.